Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. Clone fragrances and hype, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. Or if you're from a country where that's really weird, they go together like two things that go well together. Really well.
Does it feel good?
But not all hype is created equal. Some fragrances are overhyped. They don't deserve anywhere near the amount that they get. Others are underhyped. And today I'm sharing with you my choices for the most overhyped and underhyped fragrances from 5 of the biggest Middle Eastern houses out there today, starting with the grandpappy of them all, Latafa. Yeah, you could say Latafa's gotten pretty big. Years ago, nobody really cared about them much outside of Rogba, but nowadays people freak out every time they release something new, which being a Middle Eastern brand is like every week. So let's begin with the overhyped fragrance, the one that I feel like has gotten way too much attention for how good the scent actually is. And it's gonna be a new one. Kamra Waha. Now with this being a Kamra, you already knew before it came out that the hype was gonna be astronomical. And it has been. It has been. I'll tell you one thing, the opening I think actually rules. It is bright, it's fresh, it's ozonic, it's sweet, it smells really, really nice. As it dries down though, to me it falls apart a little bit. It's nowhere near as nice once it dries down compared to the opening. And with the amount of hype that this one has gotten, you would think that it's a world-changing scent, like one of the best things that's been released not only this year, but of the last 5 years, or 10. Or maybe even the last decade. Yeah, it has been heralded.
This wasn't worth my time, dude.
For me, I think the main issue is that it doesn't really feel all that focused. As it dries down, it's trying to do like 10 different things at once. It's trying to work in that Kamra DNA so you can clearly draw a line from this one to the ones that came before it. It's also trying to be really fresh, but it's also trying to be a little warm and sweet and ozonic and aromatic with a little minerality in there. Oh, and cucumber water too, just because. And so once you hit that mid and that dry down, to me, it's just not really all that impressive and frankly, the worst of the entire Kamra lineup so far. But what about some fragrances that are underhyped from Latafa? I've got a couple to share with you. First off, this one right here, Jasur. Yeah, this one I think is actually really, really well done. It smells similar to Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. Another great part about this fragrance, it is dirt cheap. It's usually about 25 bucks at discounters. It gives you year-round usability. It has a nice balance of fresh and sweet. And the way that the apple plays together with the tobacco as it dries down smells fantastic. I would take this 10 times out of 10 over that. And kind of a bonus one, Mishla, also by Latafa. This one is also new, not quite as new as Kamra over here, but still one of the newer releases. And it hasn't been talked about a whole heck of a lot, but it's really, really good. It smells similar to Spice Bomb Metallic Musk. So it's gonna give you that fresher take on the Spice Bomb DNA. And between these two, since they're both on the fresher side of things, this one I think is better. I think working against it are the presentation, sort of plain, the name also not gonna capture too much attention, but it's really well done. And to me, both of these smell of higher quality than this one as well at lower price points. And one of the other biggest Middle Eastern houses out there nowadays is French Avenue, which is also Fragrance World, but French Avenue is like the nicer Fragrance World essentially. Kind of like Maison Alhambra with Latafa, Zamaya with Afnan, etc., etc. And for the overrated choice, gotta go with this one, Opus Magnum. Now in terms of quality, this one smells very high. Now when I say high, I'm talking 3-day music festival bender rolling naked down a hill. That high.
I can't feel my legs.
But unfortunately, it's not an easy wear at all for just about anybody. It smells similar to Royal Tobacco by Amouage, and it's very much a niche type of scent profile. It's super strong, it's incensey, it's resinous, it's really warm. Like I said, the quality is high, but it's not gonna be an easy fragrance to wear. And so, you know, when it came out, it got a lot of hype, which led to a lot of people buying it, blind buying it, and then realizing, I can never wear this. So if Opus Magnum got too much hype and was unwearable for a lot of people, well, that's a good underrated one. For me, Enigma Un. This one didn't get talked about much at all, and it's a great alternative to Dior Sauvage Elixir. So much so that I think it's probably even better than Latafa's Assad for most people, if they had actually ever smelled it. To me, this one smells like a higher quality take on Sauvage Elixir when you wear it side by side with Assad. The performance is fantastic as well. Really nicely balanced, a tinge of freshness in there alongside that woody, spicy scent profile that everybody knows from Sauvage Elixir. I know the presentation is a little bit underwhelming. It has kind of a squeaky plastickiness to it. Yeah, but what's inside here is amazing, totally underrated, and one that basically got completely overlooked. If this one had come out before Assad and gotten all the hype that Assad got, then this would be the fragrance everybody mentions when they talk about Sauvage Elixir and its alternatives. Let's do another massive house, Afnan, up next. But before we hit that one, I want to give you guys a bunch of different codes to save yourselves money. So if you're shopping for clone fragrances or designers or niche, you can use these codes. They're also in the description. So you can just copy, paste anytime you shop at these stores, save yourself some extra cash. I've got codes for Fragflex, for Gift Express, Fragrance Lord, and many, many more. So anytime you shop at those stores, use those codes. Afnan, first off, overrated. And this one's gonna be kind of weird because it's not one that actually got hyped to the moon. I was thinking about 9 p.m. as the overrated one because 9 p.m. has been talked about crazy amounts, but it's really, really good. So if you're gonna call it overrated, you'd basically just have to say it's overrated because there are other fragrances that are in that same style that are maybe better in terms of having better performance or something like that. But 9 p.m. is really cheap. So, it's a good bang for buck and it's one of the, biggest clone fragrances that's ever been made. So the one I settled on is actually this one right here, Oud Rising. Now in terms of the presentation, it's actually pretty good. It's attention grabbing. The sides have this weird kind of fabric aesthetic and then the cap is magnetic. Now to be fair here, it did not get the same amount of hype as this or this, but it did get a little groundswell. It got a little bit of hype there when it was first released. Part of that, again, I think is because it just looks like it should be really nice. But this is supposed to smell similar to Tom Ford's Oud Wood, which is one of the most popular fragrances of all time. And I gotta say, it's not really a good Oud Wood dupe, or alternative, or inspired by, or whatever you want to call it. So to be more clear, it's supposed to be Oud Wood, but with like a fresher twist to it, with this orange blossom in the opening that's supposed to kind of give you a hybrid version, a new tweaked version of Oud Wood. But to me, it just doesn't really work. You don't get that rich, spicy, warm woodiness that Oud Wood has. Instead, you get a weird kind of washed out version. And the orange blossom itself doesn't even really smell that nice. I would skip that 10 times out of 10. But in terms of underrated ones from the brand, I got a couple. First off, this one, Tarati Brown. Because when it comes to this name, nobody thinks about the brown bottle. Everybody thinks about the blue bottle. But the brown one is actually pretty good, believe it or not. It's solid. It smells similar to YSL's Tuxedo. It's got a nice, rich spiciness, bit of incense and vanilla through there as well. Quality is really high, price is low. And it's kind of interesting how much Tuxedo has fallen off, just as far as hype, not in terms of the fragrance. The fragrance smells great. But there was a time there where everybody wanted that fragrance or something that smelled similar to it. You could not smell 3 new fragrances without smelling at least one of those that was similar to Tuxedo, it felt like. It was everywhere, but then at some point, I guess everybody collectively went, yeah, I had enough of that now. Yep, I'm over it. And then that was that. Now, one thing with this one, it does have a bit of a like high tinge spiciness to an extent. So compared to some of the deeper, richer takes on Tuxedo, those may appeal more, but for other people, this one is actually the best of the bunch. And one more underrated fragrance from Afnan that I think is a much safer blind buy overall for most people, this one right here, Historic Sahara. So this one smells similar to PDM's Altair, in case you couldn't tell by the color scheme. And I know when it comes to that fragrance, everybody thinks one alternative. They go, Liquid Run, or the limited edition. So, there's 2 now. 2 liquid runs. But this right here is just as good. Historic Sahara smells fantastic. It won't be talked about as much because it wasn't the first one. There is that first mover advantage when it comes to fragrances that are inspired by other ones or dupes or whatever you want to call it. So Historic Sahara, if you're looking for a fragrance that is similar to Altair, should be on your radar. Very long lasting, great balance of sweet, warm, and spicy. Big attention grabber, and one of Afnan's best. Rayhaan up next, and I gotta tell you, the overrated one, super easy. This is like the easiest one out of anything here. It is Pacific. Now, to be fair, this was one of Rayhaan's first fragrances, one of their early fragrances, but it got talked about a lot. Like, a lot. And I just don't think that this one really matched up to the level of hype that it got when it was released. In terms of how it smells, you know, basically like HUGEST, Invictus, Legend Spirit, you know, any of those fragrances, that's exactly what this is. It's basically going, oh, yeah, that Invictus stuff. Yeah, that bubblegum sweet stuff, that's pretty good. What if we did that? Oh, what's that? There's 15 different fragrances out there just like that? Huh. What if we got a hype though? That'd be pretty sick. And it's not that it smells bad, it's just when you have something that's being hyped like it's the next Aventus, and then you smell it and you go, so kind of like HUGEST then. The level of excitement goes, ugh.
Overrated as f.
To be fair to Pacific though, at the time that it came out, it was alongside a couple of other fragrances in the same line, you know, same bottle style and everything like that, just basically different colored caps. I realized I could just grab them, so I did that. Fresh Wave, Ocean Rush. Between these three, Pacific is the best. But that's the one that got hyped, so that's the one that's overrated. Now in terms of underration, I've got a couple. With this one, first off, Crimson, which smells similar to Centaurus by Creed. And I think this does an amazing job at getting very close to the Creed. It's just, that's not really one of the absolute most popular Creed fragrances out there. So that's why this doesn't get talked about as much. It's a really nice sweet tobacco scent profile. I think in terms of quality, you know, bang for buck, this stuff is amazing. It's actually one of my favorites from the entire house. And then the other one is this one, Nocturno Elixir. So this is a newer release. It smells similar to Bleu de Chanel Exclusive. And that's a fragrance that's been having a lot of different inspired by iterations coming out here recently. And of the ones that I own, if you're looking for a one-to-one type deal, this one's the best one. And I wasn't really sure about including this one because it is, you know, on the newer side of things. So underrated, you know, it's kind of hard to say. It hasn't had a ton of hype yet, but it could get more hype as time goes on. I just think that as far as what Rayhaan has done, it's one of the best ones. And we're gonna finish things off with Gulf Orchid / Maison Asrar, same brand, Overrated DXB. Now, it's not that this smells bad, because it doesn't. It smells really nice, actually. It smells similar to Louis Vuitton. Stop me if you've heard that before. What? A fragrance that smells similar to a Louis Vuitton? Surely it does not smell like Pacific Chill, Imagination, or Afternoon Swim, or possibly Ombre Nomad. How could I forget that? Those are unclonable. Nobody has made alternatives to those. I see those fragrances in my nightmares, man. Do you know how many times I've smelled Afternoon Swim, Pacific Chill, and Imagination style fragrances? Sure, they smell good, but after a while, it's just like... So yeah, that does smell like one of those. So it's gonna be more in that afternoon swim style of things, and it actually smells pretty good. It has the nice citrus in there, it has the ginger in there. The issue with this one is the performance, even after letting the bottle mature, is not great. And so with just so many different alternatives out there, it becomes one of those ones where you go, do you really need to splurge for it, you know, and grab that one? Probably not. But again, it does smell nice if you really like citrus, which I do. Now, in terms of underrated, Throne Eclipse. This is my jam. It is gonna be a little more particular because it does have basically a hybrid, a blending of two different niche fragrances together. That's the style of this one. Opening is bold, it's loud, it's strong. And basically it smells like you took PDM Altair and mixed it with Blonde Amber by Clive Christian. So taking two very hyped fragrances made for fall and winter, putting them together. The opening is closer to the Clive Christian, the dry down is closer to the PDM. Quality is fantastic, performance is amazing, and that hybrid kind of feel that it has makes it more unique compared to just about anything else out there in the inspired by space. So there we go, 5 of the biggest houses, their overrated scent, their underrated scent, and sometimes a bonus sprinkled in. I wanna thank you guys for hanging with me. If I said a fragrance was overrated that you really, really enjoy, don't take it to heart, because some of these overrated fragrances do smell good. It's just they have detracting factors for me anyway. I want you guys to stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.